There's our softball, beautiful bowling field background for tonight's episode of Husker Heat. We're back after a sweep weekend, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely daughter, Mylie. Mylie, how are you tonight?
Good.
Really? Is it a good night?
It was a good day until I walked out and saw the gas prices went up another 20%. So I'm going to start pooping in my gas tank.
I don't know how that helps by having a really expensive repair bill, but maybe the neighbor's gas tank. Of course, that could lead to jail or at least a hefty fine and more money gone. It's probably just best to pay the higher gas prices. Yeah. Other than that, though, I two things today. One, they let the media go down and take pictures and film and check out spring practice for about 20, 30 minutes today. So got to see our new quarterback running around and throwing it a little. The drills we were watching.
Was he actually running?
What's that?
Was he actually running?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the drills they were doing were not. There were a few dropbacks, but there was plenty of reading, rolling out, and it was a more mobile practice than I was used to seeing. So apparently,
we know who can't do that.
Right, and Holgerson said this is kind of a nice new world that we've got where everybody's pretty mobile. Kalen, Daniel Kalen from Bellevue transferred back, Bellevue West, and he doesn't look non-mobile. He looks comfortable running with it, and I think he was mostly known as a drop back quarterback in high school. But I remember at the time his coach said he can move, give him a chance, and he looked pretty comfortable doing it today. But as I told Mylie right before we went on, we had just a Big Ten cluster. I'm going to try not to drop F-bombs today, but that was a tough one right out of the gate. They announced like the Big Ten, all Big Ten teams, all freshmen, all defense, 6-man, all that kind of stuff, and then Coach of the Year. Now I thought a guy pegged for 14th place before the season began, who finishes second, spent a good chunk of the year in the top 10, and is probably, depending on what they can do in the conference tournament, could be looking as high as a 3 seed or a 2 seed. I think it might more likely land at 3. But anyway, that sounds like a good guy to get both of them. So here's what happens. Everybody with their connections is spitting them out before they actually get released. And so I'm just, okay, let's roll with these. And I was saying, we're still waiting for the official word, but here's what we got. And what they had was Fred getting Coach of the Year, Big Ten Coach of the Year. Price Sanford making first team All Big Ten with the coaches, second with the media. I think Rink Mast and was it Sam? I think Rink Mast and Sam both got honorable mention. Yeah, and then Braden Frager was 6th man of the year and made the all freshman team on both of them. And I think that
Sam was on the all defense team.
Yeah, Sam was on. Only one of them did an all defense team. It was the coaches, and Sam made that one. And then Rink got one of the sportsmanship awards they hand out. So pretty good day. And I'm like, well, I felt we should have got both of them because the AI said that Fred got them both, but then like the first two actual sources I saw tweeting said Dusty May, Michigan's coach, got it. Thank you, Mylie, for that. Mylie remembered Dusty May's name. I chose to forget it, I guess, because I don't really care about the Weasels unless we're playing them. But naturally, and then Michigan fans were going berserk that Dusty didn't get both of them. And then here's finally the official Big Ten press release, and it has a nice paragraph saying Fred won them both. Okay, cool. Let me make a correction. Apparently there was some bad reporting, but here Fred got them both. 13 minutes later, here comes another Big Ten email, because I'm seeing people are still saying Dusty May got it. Here comes another email. This time, here's a paragraph on Fred for getting the coaches and Dusty May for winning with the media. And I'm like, okay. And then I look down the list, and they still, even though they've given them each a paragraph, saying they each got one of the Coach of the Year awards, the media still has Fred listed as the winner in this email. So I'm like, well, I don't know what to believe now. So I'm just farting around on Twitter. I'm going to wait like 5-10 minutes. But right away I see that the Big Ten official account has congratulated Fred and congratulated Dusty. So it was official, and it was another bugged by the Big Ten, and it was just so funny because in our world, because everything, it's bend over backwards for Ohio State and Michigan. You don't want to play Friday night games? Awesome. You don't have to. Special rules. So we're used to special rules for the two Mama's boys, but it was just such a weird damn thing. I can almost picture like that one email going up, the Big Ten office just getting blown apart by Michigan people, and people high up in Michigan, and we're going to sue and all this if you don't give it to Dusty May. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying in my own warped mind, I pictured it happening. So Big Ten, thank you very much for what was just supposed to be a couple of quick tweets and then some lunch, and it turned into an hour of this. I've got the I'm trying. I'm just trying not to for one episode. Well, anyway, let's go to softball. It's the 4-0 sweep, and in the preview article, I said I think one of the things, and somebody quoted it in one of the comments, because I had said I can talk about how we have to be careful and how South Dakota State and UNO, could we each win one of these games. But the reality is anything less than 4-0 is going to be a big disappointment for what we want, and that's a loss that'll hurt us in RPI. And so, we got the sweep, and let's see, real quick on the scores, beat South Dakota State 9-4, and then 8-0 in 5 innings, and beat UNO 4-1, and then 10-2 in 6 innings. Since the UNO sports information isn't sitting next to me, I'm not going to call it Omaha U. Just keep on trying, guys. They're UNO. Go to the hockey games, listen to them score a goal. They're not chanting Omaha unless they changed it in the last year or two, and I missed out. But yeah, it's UNO. Anyhow, the new rankings came out, and let's just make it simple. You got the 4 services: ESPN, USA Softball 5. D1 softball 7, On 3 Softball America 9, USA Today, the NFCA coaches poll 10th. Not one of them moved at all. Every one of them is the same as last week.
I mean,
and I even double checked. What's that? Go ahead.
I was going to say it's not surprising because we weren't playing, a huge team. So.
Oh yeah, it was a classic. That all you can do is drop. You're not going to get any credit for winning these games, but. So that's fine and dandy, but the first RPI poll came out today, and Rhonda Revelle has been rewarded for that brutal non-conference schedule she did. As she said, it's great risks, but it's great rewards. The great rewards have happened. I remember once going, even if worst case scenario, we came out of those first 23 games, or actually the first 19, not including this last weekend. If we came out of those games and we were like 11-8, 12-7, or maybe even 10-9, just with who we played, we'd still be in a pretty good place. We're 18-5, and RPI has us at number 3 in the country right now.
Wow.
And now the thing about RPI is that, it gets more, not that I'm not happy, but it's one of those things that it's way more accurate at the end of the season. Just the more data it has, then that's whenever you don't see people jumping like 7 spots in a week near the end of the year, unless you pull off some big upsets, then a big jump for you is going to be like a couple spots maybe, because everything just starts tightening up. But coming out number 3 out of the gate is a great place to start. And now it becomes, you better not lose some of these games coming up. Let's see. So great news on the RPI. Michigan is doing well. We'll get to them in a minute. But they've come out with a good record, but not so great against the ranked teams. I don't know if you checked those out yet. Let's kind of talk about what's going on this week. You had two batters that hadn't really been busting out of the gates yet. Bust out of the gates a little. One more than the other. But Sammy Bland and Bella Bacon each hit nobody out walk-off home runs for the 2 run rule games that they won. And Bella did it first on Thursday night against South Dakota State. And then Sammy did it as part of a 3-for-4 day with a double. crushed one out to left. Bella's, we were thinking Bella's might have reached the parking lot. It was kind of dark out. And if you don't know exactly, left field fence, you got to go a little ways through, up a hill and across some of the lawn there to get to the parking lot. And I think somebody said they saw it hit the grass and then bounce into the parking lot on the the second hop. That was still the heck of a shot. And she's one that you think should be hitting more homers than she does, right?
Yeah.
She looks like she has power, and then every now and then you see it. And, well, she showed it off at a great time. It was fun because after those 2 games, we got to go down and we do post-game interviews with usually Rhonda and one player, and we wanted to talk to Alexis Jensen, who pitched that game. And she's still having the home run problems. She did some really good things after she gave up home runs in the second and third inning of the. I think she pitched in the first game that day, no, was it Jordy? I think it was Alexis. But anyway, and she just talked about how much fun it is to cheer for like teammates when they do something like that. Like they almost enjoy blowing up for somebody, especially Bella, who's been probably wanting that home run. And I can tell you, interviewing Alexis was just a lot of fun. She is just she's definitely a freshman. Like here she is. She's probably about 25 when it comes to studying pitching and learning from mistakes and things like that. But in other ways, she's just this really sweet, goofy kid. And I mean goofy in the best way. She's just oozing personality, and that was just a lot of fun. For that being the first time to talk to her. And then she actually gave up those 2 home runs, but then shut it down after that, and then gave up 1 home run against UNO, and when she came on in relief of Hannah Camenzind in the second game on Sunday. But still, she threw like 4 1/3 innings there. That was the only run she gave up, and she struck out. Oh geez, what was it on the weekend? Struck out 17 and walked 3, and Jordy pitching about the same number of innings, just who won't be outdone, struck out 17 and walked 2. So the pitching did its thing despite the home runs. And Madia Groff for UNO has been having home run, the former 3-time All-American. What's that?
I think it's Medea.
Is that really? Okay, I believe
it. That's what I heard an announcer saying, but I mean they could be wrong too.
Nope, I'm going with Medea because
it looks like
I just thought it looked like Madia. So nope, completely wrong. But yeah, she had given up 13 homers coming in, and she gave up 2 more in her start against Jordy on the first game on Sunday. And that was an interesting thing too,
Saturday.
Because Saturday.
There's only one game.
I forgot. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. After those first 5 weeks, I'm just used to like 2 games. It feels like most of the days, or a lot of the days anyway. But interesting thing, it looked like Hannah Camenzind was going to start. She was in there warming up. That's the only one I saw warming up. Rhonda afterwards said that they had both warmed up, and I'm like, well, they had Hannah down up until like literally about 3 minutes before the game starts. I hear him off to my left. Okay, Jordy's pitching now. What? Okay, who's DPing? Okay, nope, they're just switching. Jordy's gonna hit and Hannah's gonna DP, so leave the lineup the same. And I asked Rhonda afterwards. It looked like you were ready to go with Hannah, and she just said nope. But it was just gut instinct. And I'm like, well, if Jordy Fromm's your gut instinct pick, then always go with your gut, because I mean the only pitcher like there's a few pitchers off to hot starts, but right now the only one who's just up there with her, it feels like, is and she strained her arm, is our old friend Carlin Pickens, who we faced 4 times last season, and apparently she was kind of day to day before the weekend, and I didn't check and see if she pitched or not, but I guess I'm gonna lean.
I think she was warming up.
Was she?
I don't know if she played, but they had her warming up this past weekend.
Yeah, I was just going to guess she did, since I think they're still undefeated. And I'm not sure what kind of competition they've played the whole time, but it's not better than ours. We're the best. And I don't know this. I think this was last Wednesday, so I wouldn't have talked about it last Tuesday. Rhonda, for the football press conferences, they brought out Mark Manning and Rhonda Revelle, and it was cool. I missed the preseason press conference due to technological errors, not my fault. But Rhonda, so I had a few questions for her, and I was taking pictures of the team and zooming in and just trying to do some videos and pictures before the Thursday and Saturday Oklahoma State games. And I just saw Caitlin Kaneda running around out there, just having a ball, messing with her teammates, just always seems to be gritting ear to ear. And it's an interesting story because she was in 23 as a freshman. She was an all Big Ten second baseman, hit like 370. Starts again her sophomore year, average goes down some. And then last year, 25 was kind of just a nightmare. She got hurt right out of the gate, one of the first games of the year, and I think she's out for like a month and a half. Comes back, wisdom teeth go south. She needs to have those removed, gone for another week or two that she can't play. And then I think she did something to her elbow after that. So by the time she's finally fully healthy, we're getting near the end of the season, the tournaments, and it's just, it's going to be Lauren Kamenson. And then Lauren wins the job again this year. So her, after being a 2-year starter, she's finishing up as a senior and basically spending most of her time coming off the bench to pinch run. She did get to play in the field a few times when Sammy was hurt the one weekend. And so I just asked Rhonda, and I wasn't going for the waterworks. I'd just been meaning to ask her about Kaneda for like going back to the last season. And then the pictures reminded me, I made a note. I was going to ask her Sunday after the Oklahoma State game, which was canceled, and I'm still upset about that. But I asked her about Kaneda, and she goes, "Oh, you're going to get me here." And she, it's not full waterworks, but you can see her eyes are watering, and she's choking up while talking about what a great teammate she is. And she goes, "You're picking up on her by just watching her on a screen." And I was like, "Well, it's all her at Oklahoma State, but yeah, I'm just getting a few moments of her before the game." And she goes, "Just imagine what it's like for us getting to experience her, all the time in practice, in the dugout, traveling together." It's like, and she just said, "This is just a person that the team means more to them than anything." And it was just a really nice moment. You could see, and then she thanked me for not asking the question, just because you could tell she really wanted to let people know what Caitlin means to that team. And that's just what I was going for. I thought, this is a person who's just doing all the work, not really seeing the field much anymore, but sticking it out with her team. And I just thought she deserved some recognition. And Rhonda's heartfelt response was more than I could have asked for. So that was good stuff. I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it, because you just had to be there. Let's see what else is going on. Injuries. I finally asked about Olivia DiNardo. I guess she had a surgery before the season began. I want to say elbow. They're not sure of her return. I'm thinking it might be like it's not going to be for the season, because she is dressed and she warms the pitchers up a lot. So she, if she can do that, then if it's the throwing elbow and they're starting to let her, at least just throw it back to the pitcher, it sounds like she'll be on the right way. And Mylie, did you watch when Jesse Farrell took it in the noggin?
I was right after the game.
I was looking away. Tell us what happened there.
I think it just took a weird bounce or hit something, and then it just hit her right square in the head.
And was it maybe foul tipped or something?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
okay. Yeah, and all of a sudden I look and she's kind of laying there, and I'm like, "What happened?" And somebody's like, "I think she just took one right between the eyes or something." And you can wear a mask, but let's put it this way: and even in adult hockey, once we had this nut midgie who could just blast a slap shot, and we had this kind of chubby 50-year-old goalie for the other team, and he unleashed a one-timer and put one right in the mask between the eyes, and they ended up rolling him out on a stretcher, because he was even when he woke up, they're like, "Yeah, we better take him in and give him a little battery of tests," and that's the first thing I thought of when I was like, "Oh, so that's what happened." She was in the concussion protocol for Sunday's game. Carly Muehlbach slid in and caught for her, but yeah, they're just saying they hope it's with concussions, it's day to day. So we'll see if she suits up for Michigan. And she was starting to hit a little. She went 4 for 9, had a double homer, knocked one in. and then like scored a couple runs. So she had a nice weekend. So good to see that. And then here was Sammy coming in, and she is doing her first weekend of being able to just take full swings, be in the batting order again. And then what's this? Sunday against UNO that she goes diving to her left. It's she goes diving to her left on a ball ripped up the line, knocks it aside, and then she gets up and then it's her lead shoulder when she swings and she's working it around, and I'm just like, oh no. And I asked Rhonda after the game, what'd you guys think when Sammy's getting up, kind of working her arm around, and she's just like, I didn't want to. She's like, I didn't want to go there. And so, but I remember up in the box, I was sitting next to Luke Mullen, I believe from the Lincoln Journal-Star, and I'm like, well, we're going to find out how well she is because she's leading off the inning, and Nebraska was up 9-2, so one run ends the game in the bottom of the sixth, and Sammy just blasts one high and deep and over left field. And that was a little unusual. It feels like most of her homers are just really hard line drives that just, what's the saying? It was still on its way up when it left the park. And so she, like Bella Bacon did, she ends the game, and we're just like, guess the shoulder's all right. And I think it was Abby Barmore asked her after the game. So she caught her like tapping her shoulder, tapping the shoulder or whatever to somebody after she crossed home plate. And she said, yeah, that was the coach. Every time I get a hit, she's wearing a brace on it underneath her uniform. Says every time she gets a hit, they're like, hey, it's the brace. It's the lucky brace. And so she said, yep. And Rhonda like, yep, it was the brace, and gave her the tap back on that one. Let's see. Oh, and Luke picked up. I want to give Luke Mullen credit for this. He picked up after the game that not one person on Nebraska struck out against UNO on Sunday. And I don't know that I've seen a game where nobody on either team manages to not strike out in 6, 7, even in a 6-inning game. That was wild. And Rhonda was just like, we didn't? And I was just like, so that was a neat little stat. Let's see. Yeah, and Sammy and Hannah Kamenson kind of teamed up on UNO Sunday. They combined to go 6 for 7 with 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Sam was 3 for 4. Hannah was 3 for 3, and I think Jordy just went 1 for 4, so they kind of outshined her for a game. And we'd like to see some of that against the Weasels this weekend. Jordy, I think she came pretty close to a no-hitter, didn't she?
Yeah, she had 2 hits against her on Saturday, and one of them was a home run at the end of the game.
Yeah, so I think you might remember this better than me. Did she lose the no-hitter in like the 4th, or was
it was late in the game.
5th?
It was 4th or 5th, maybe, yeah.
And then loses the shutout in the last inning, and but still threw a 7-inning complete game, 2 hit, 1 run, 9 strikeouts, and just had a Jordy game, just shut him down. And what was funny was afterwards, I think it was Rhonda was saying that she didn't have her best stuff, and it was like, oh, that's her without her best stuff, but she really had the changeup going. It's not quite as deadly as Alexis's changeup. I think her slows down to about 56 to 58 miles an hour, and Alexis, with that full windup, lets it go, and it comes in usually like 51 to 53. But Jordy throws a little harder, and she's usually got her rise ball going and everything. So when she lets that changeup go, it's kind of tough for other teams to be ready for it. Let's see. Let's start. I'm telling you guys, feel free to jump in on the comments. So far, I think the only comment we've gotten is from Mylie's fiance Connor.
I don't see any comments. Oh.
Yeah, not tonight, but like the first 2 shows or whatever. But yeah, we encourage you guys to jump on in. Let's see. So who was hot this weekend? Jordy went 7 for 14, couple doubles, a home run, knocked in 5, scored 3, over 500 for on base percentage. Sammy, who's been heated up, she started 0 for 15 the first weekend, where she was either playing with the flu, recovering from the flu, or a combination of, okay, you're recovered but still weak. And so since then, I think she's hitting about 3, because what did she do this weekend? 4 for 12. She's probably hitting about 333, right on that 4 for 12 since that weekend. So, and she's one where you just want her out there. She's batting in the 2 spot again like last season, and she's just she's so distracting on the bases. She takes extra bases, diving head first, and so she ended up scoring 6 runs this weekend, and that's just what Rhonda wants her. She just wants her getting on base and running wild and messing with the other team's heads. Hannah Kamenson was 6 for 12. Like Jordy hits 500 for the weekend. 2 doubles, 2 homers for Hannah. Knocked in 3, scored 4. We talked about Jess. Ava had a big weekend. She went 5 for 10. And let's see, all of them were extra base hits. Of her 5 hits, 2 were doubles, 3 were homers. She drove in 6 runs. She scored 4, even walked twice. So on base well over 300. So nice to see her. Like, she'd come out of the slump one weekend, and then last weekend looked like she was kind of stuck again. And she said there was no hitch in her swing or anything like that. When I asked her, she just said, she was hitting some hard, but it wasn't like her and Coach Diane Miller, who coaches the hitters, looked at a lot of tape, and it was just, keep what you're doing. We don't see anything wrong, and it'll come around. And looks like it finally is just in time for Big Ten play. Who else? Yeah, Bella went 2 for 5 with a homer, with that game-ending homer and a ribby. The only one who kind of slacked off is Casey Hoffman, had been on a tear, and she went 3 for 12, 250. Not awful, not great, but she even had a home run. She dented the Alex Gordon training complex for the second time. Last year she hit one so hard it hit high up on it and bounced back onto the field, and it's not right behind the fence. It's probably about 10 yards behind the fence, so it had to take a heck of a hop. And this time she hit the brick section, and another one who would have put someone in danger, because on Sunday's game, B1G Plus didn't just use. I finally caught some highlights. Tell us about the one camera angle they had.
It was like behind home plate, and it was like overhead,
like the roof of the press box or something.
Yeah,
right?
you could only see like the pitcher and then home plate, basically. Or you could see like first, second, third, but
it was kind of, you couldn't see the outfield fence.
Freaking angle I've ever seen for us.
Yeah, she was telling me about that, and I was trying to think where it could be, and I'm just like, it's almost like they just put it up there, and I don't know if they were trying to track it remotely. They didn't have the center field camera, which they had on Saturday, but it might have been for the best, because Jordy blasted a line drive out on Sunday that literally hit that. They got the little bird's nest there up over the center field fence, and it hit that thing and was rattling around in there pretty hard. And we're like, we were sitting in the press box going, just think if that guy's up there going, oh gosh, that's coming straight at me. And then it would be, I'm picturing a movie where the ball hits him in the head or something. You just hear a noise like, ah, and the guy goes down. And I was imagining it, and it was, just thinking that'd be pretty funny. And then the person that goes, you're mean to myself all the time, just said, yeah, he'd probably be hurt pretty bad. It probably wouldn't be funny. But me being me, there'd be the little bit of, is he okay? Can I laugh now? Yeah, he's up. Okay, not staggering, not wandering around drunkenly. He's okay. Then it's kind of funny. But anyway, thanks Big Ten Plus for always dropping the big bucks. You know what? I always call them the Boom Goes the Dynamite Network. If you've never seen that, and you're like Mylie hadn't, there's few versions on YouTube, but just take the first one, then you'll get the full effect of this poor guy who they put on like the student TV station at I think it was some school in Illinois maybe, and you can tell that he's trying to keep up with the teleprompter, but then he's not synced with the pictures they're putting up behind him, and he's calling stuff that's happened like a minute ago, and you can tell that he can see himself on there, and he's getting flustered. And finally, I can't remember if it was a dunk or a home run, but that's when he goes, and yeah, it's there, and boom goes the dynamite with that much enthusiasm. And ESPN ran it. it wasn't straight to, Twitter and everything else when that happened, but it was straight to Sports Center and the poor guy. And I just think that a lot of times these B1G productions can just be boom goes the dynamite. What do we got going on here?
Is there chicken on it?
Connor, what are you doing, man?
Why is there lettuce on a okay.
What?
Okay, don't eat this time. You can wait. We'll be done in like 10 minutes. You can wait. Don't start eating yet. Connor, don't bring her food anymore.
Well, fuck, I don't have time to eat.
I know. I didn't either. I snuck like 2 slices of pizza.
Well, you don't work all day.
Yeah, but I was driving. I was in Lincoln in the afternoon for the football. So, all right. Anyhow,
You do
let's
that.
not let me get too distracted,
Okay.
and we'll bring this in for you under the wire. That chicken will still be warm.
It's not chicken.
I thought he said something. You said something about chicken. What is it?
I don't know.
You don't
I
know?
I think it's an egg.
You think it's an egg? What is this, like prison food he's serving?
No.
I don't know what it is. It looks like bologna, but it's the wrong color and it smells funny. But anyway, let's roll through some. We've talked about the storylines. We've given you the great news where they landed in the RPI, because what we want is to finish with a top 8. Then their destiny is in their hands. They'll host a regional for sure. And then if they can win that regional and they're one of the top 8 seeded teams for the tournament, then they will host a super regional in Bowlin Stadium, and that would just be awesome. Not just for the fact I wouldn't have to drive how many or fly how many miles to go to the super regional. All right, so we got through who's hot. Pitchers both did fairly well. Alexis pitched 11 1/3 innings, and she gave up 6 earned runs, so bumped the ERA up a little. But she only allowed 10 hits. She only walked 3, 1.147 ratio, and like anything down close to 1, that's a good ratio. The problem, 3 home runs. So still working on it. And it's still, all of it's an improvement over that first weekend when those balls were just sailing out of the park on her. So she struck out, like I said, 17, walked 3. I think she got 1 win or 2. I think she got 2 wins. I think she won. She went complete game, the game she started against South Dakota State, and then she came on in the relief of Hannah on Sunday and got the win because she can't. I think she got the win just because she pitched more innings. All right, so Jordy, and then her ERA for the weekend was 3.71. Not great, but the home runs. And then Jordy got 2 wins. I think she got the other 2, and pitched 12 innings, 0.58 ERA. She only gave up 1 earned run, and then a 0.75 ratio. That's just crazy that, you're not even allowing one runner on base per inning. 17 Ks, 2 walks. Hannah tore the cover off the ball. She had a little trouble on the mound. She gave up 3 hits and a walk in an inning and 2/3, and then she had a bunch of, it was either 2 or 3 runners on base, and that's when Alexis came in, got him out of the jam, and pitched the last 4. So the opponent this weekend is Michigan, and they are doing well. They're 19-6. They're getting some votes, and I just checked them in the ESPN poll. They're getting some votes to be ranked. I think they're number 37 if you go on out on all their votes, and they have played 5 ranked teams and gone 1-4 against them. They lost 5-1 to number 5 Florida. No shame in that. Beat number 22 Arizona State 9-8. Got swept by Virginia on one of their non-conference weekends. Lost 6-2 and 5-4, and Virginia's number 18, and then lost 5-3 to number 11 Vatech. Are you diving off camera to eat?
No, I'm just
Tasting. You look like that cat in the one video where she comes up holding the big fat orange cat just by the shoulders, and the cat's just dangling. And
okay.
she just goes,
well, yeah, you don't need to tell any more stories. Let's just go.
she just goes, no, this one's quick. She just
Oh my
goes,
God.
this asshole ate my pizza, and the cat goes.
Okay.
So we're working. Okay. So anyway, 19-6. They are hitting 314 as a team to our 316. They've got 39 homers. And quick stat, Oklahoma already has like 91 damn homers. and they're claiming they had 100, so maybe they had more this weekend and they just hadn't updated the stats. But my God, I mean, that's like an impressive year-end total for a lot of teams. They steal some bases. What did they've stolen like let's see, where's Michigan? They've stolen 25 bases. They've got one hitter who's a sophomore, so we haven't seen her yet. Lauren Putz, hitting 477 with 12 homers, 39 RBIs already, and what would we say, 25 games, and just like the stolen 5 out of 6 bases, and just ridiculous stats. Her on base is 584. I expect she's going to be an issue. And then their other big hitters, Janissa Conway, who's hitting 422, stolen 8 bases, 5 homers, 23 RBIs of her own. They're putting up a lot of runs, but they've only played 5 ranked teams. So they have not played a team like us. They haven't played near the schedule we have. And then finally, I kept it short for you here, but they have one dominant pitcher. She's a Mercer transfer. She's a junior, Gabby Ellis. She's 8-1 with a 1.84 ERA. She's not a big strikeout pitcher. She's got like 32 strikeouts and 13 walks in 45 2/3 innings, but she's only allowed 45 base runners in those 45 2/3 innings. So she just doesn't let runners on base. Thus far, we're hitting 316 as a team. We'll see if we can do that. Michigan actually has more homers. We've got 36, but we're not hitting as many last year because we're facing a lot better pitching and didn't get to go to New Mexico and pad the stats for a weekend. So that's where we stand going into this weekend. What do we think of Michigan, Mylie, just in general?
I haven't watched them at all, so I'd...
No, I don't mean. I just mean the school, all of them, the whole Weasel place.
Why would we like them?
Bingo. The Michigan men. Yeah, it seems to be being a Michigan man these days, especially on the coaching side, is just getting suspended by the NCAA and getting arrested and getting fired because they're in a world of hurt up there as far as their image right now. They never admit it. They still think they're the most admired school in the country, better than any Ivy Leaguers. But they've got the Jim Harbaugh era was not kind to them. Like, they won, but it was sort of the win at all costs deal. But we won't go on about that forever. Last fun fact, and then we're out of here. Lauren Putz, the crusher I just mentioned to you, her father played baseball at Michigan and her mother played softball at Michigan. And I think she's from Arizona, but there was probably little doubt where she was going to school, without possibly being disowned. So I think that's it for the evening. One funny picture. We're right on 40 minutes. I'm getting you out 5 minutes early.
That's great. My food's getting cold.
I know. Here is this is in Stillwater, and those are the 2 of them female, 1 male porta potties behind the dugout. And that was also where they go to change from practice jerseys to jerseys. Is here. Welcome to the porta potty. As it appears to me that not too many softball stadiums have dressing rooms. Like Nebraska's is close; it's behind the right field fence. But yeah, I think the Oklahoma State's is across the old baseball field or something like that. But anyway, one comment up. Tiger Shark Diver is here. He just wants to wish us a happy Power of the Corn. I still love his little logo picture, avatar, whatever you want to call it there. But it looks like the diver's trying to grab the shark, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, that's it for the evening. Mylie,
what?
Thanks for hanging in there. I can see you're getting a little hangry there. the facial expressions are worth 1,000 words. Even now, it's like the smile's coming because I'm cracking her up. The eyes are still just bleeding.
I haven't eaten since noon. It's been 9 hours. I'm hungry.
It is 20 till. All right, I'm gonna let you get out of here. Love you. Thanks to everybody watching. We'll hopefully see you down at Bowling Stadium this weekend for more record-setting attendance. Was it the home opener record they broke with 2,600, which was I think about 300 more than for the home opener, about 800 more than the record that we allowed Oklahoma State to set by just us being in their ballpark. So you're welcome, Oklahoma State. Weasels, come to Lincoln, have a good time. We won't call you Weasels. People will probably invite you to their tailgates. We're just that damn nice.
No, we won't.
And love everybody watching. Good night. And Mylie, what do we say?
GBR.
GBR. Go Big Red. Good night, everybody, and enjoy dinner, Mylie. Did you figure out what it was?
It's a bagel sandwich.
Still lost on the meat?
No, I think it's egg.
Oh, egg. Okay. All right. Enjoy. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.